Are we live?
Yeah. Are we?
Hello.
Hi. We're going to do a quick episode on the UAP hearing, part 5. We're going to hear from
Mr. Frost.
So, we're going to do this, and we have 30 minutes to do it. So, ready, set, and
we're
go.
going to go.
All right, I'm just testing the recording stuff right now. So, enjoy us live, because here we are.
So this is going to be episode 80, and we are working on the United States UAP disclosure
We sound
hearing.
fucking amazing right now. I just want to calibrate us, and then we're off.
Hello.
No, don't do that. Don't go back. Where we're going to be sitting. I need
Oh,
to, yeah.
I was going to say hi to Bunt.
Here, I need to be calibrated where we're sitting.
Okay. Well, I'm going to sit like this because I'm going to be reading.
Okay, let me start the test. Okay, let's get us calibrated.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the UAP hearing, part 5.
All right, we're here. Okay, we've arrived. Are you ready? Ready, set, and are you okay?
I just hit my knee. Hold on.
Oops. Hi, Bun.
Izzy.
And Lizzie. Okay, let's get going. Ready, set, and go. Hi, this is Jenna.
And this is Heather.
And this is Conspiracies Unlocked.
And today we are going to be discussing the United States UAP hearing part 5. We are going to pick up with Mr. Frost. He starts by saying
And who is Mr. Frost? One of the whistleblowers?
Mr. Frost is not a whistleblower.
He's one of the questionnaires.
He is going
Questioners.
to be... Yes.
Okay.
He is going to be answering.
So this is the United States hearing, and so there's 3 whistleblowers, and they all get questioned by various people.
Yes.
Just to catch everybody up.
Oh, that's true. I keep forgetting that some people may have not heard the previous parts.
Yeah, so this is a big deal to conspiracy theorists that we are not wrong, aliens are real, and the government is here to show us that. So, take it away.
Yes. So Mr. Frost is he starts his time by saying in 2022. Oh, one moment, please. We have a little. What is that?
Oh, that's my phone.
That's your phone.
What?
She has a text message.
Hold on, because somebody finally decided to listen. My husband Brad just started to listen, and now he's saying, "What's up with Heather's nose?" Oh my God! Let me see it.
I have a lot of highlighter on Brad.
Brad, she was supposed to be she was supposed to have a button nose. It does look funny.
It's definitely a button nose.
Oh my God, it looks funny. I told you it looks stupid. All right.
It's just called makeup.
I don't think that we can see all the people who are watching us live because he's watching us and we can't see him.
Oh.
I'm going to ask if he's still watching. Okay, but let's go back onto the episode.
It's just lots of makeup, Brad.
Okay.
You know me.
No, it sounds like slow connection. Okay, here, let's go back.
Okay.
Ready, set, and just.
I'm just gonna say then we move on to Mr. Frost. Because I don't know where I was just saying this first part right here.
Okay, so so just say Mr. Frost starts saying, that way I can loop it in.
Basically starting over.
Okay, ready, set, and go.
And then we move on to Mr. Frost. He starts by saying in 2022 that NASA announced that it was commissioning an independent study team to study UAPs, composed of scientists across different fields, as well as former astronauts and pilots. In May, the independent study team held its first public meeting in which the perspectives from NASA's senior leaders and the Department of Defense and also the intelligence agencies. They are expected to release their first report very soon. So he just wanted to note that NASA is also doing various studies.
They better be.
On the UAPs.
They should. NASA should be our first line of defense when it comes to UAPs. Well, they're already fucking up there, watching the skies.
NASA is, notorious, people have believed that NASA covers everything up, so...
They probably have been for the government.
So the fact that now they're coming out and saying, oh, no, we're doing our own independent studies...
By the way, You all
Yeah.
are crazy. Hey, it's only a conspiracy until it's proven right, and then it becomes fact.
Yes, yes. So Mr. Frost wanted to have that on record regarding NASA. He then questioned Mr. Graves, which is one of our witnesses. He asked, how might NASA's research influence the commercial industry regarding safety of UAPs? Mr. Graves stated, I think NASA has a big role to play as far as commercial aviation and safety is one of their original charges as an organization. One recommendation that have been put forward is to utilize their existing aviation safety reporting system to serve as a short-term fill and tested platform for pilots that want to report on UAPs. It also has built-in analytics capability and is funded by Congress. Mr. Frost stated, in 2021, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence released a preliminary report on UAP events. NASA Administrator Bill Nelson stated that NASA began to investigate these events. Mr. Frost stated that he sits on the Science-Based and Technology Committee. And when they were doing a hearing with NASA, the administrator, Bill Nelson, he asked why NASA needed to be fully funded. And one of the many reasons that they had to do with UAPs. Well, obviously they need to be fully funded so they can do their investigations.
Yeah, but the problem is how much funding do they want? How much is actually going to them? And how much is being deleted and given to other people?
Yeah, and fully funded, like what does that translate to?
How much
exactly?
is fully
yeah,
funded?
what is
Because
fully funded?
sometimes fully funded means, I don't know, $130 trillion a fucking year.
Yes.
I forget which episode or what that was, but somebody needed that much money.
I think it was for the Agenda 2030 for the
So
smart cities and
ridiculous.
everything else. So also in 2021, this is recent stuff. This is 2021. Harvard University started up the Galileo project to research and examine origins of UAPs. So now Harvard is getting in the mix.
Wow.
Mr. Frost then asked Mr. Fravor, do you believe the military pilots are feeling empowered to share their UAP experiences? Do you believe this directly impacted the scientific community's research goals on the topic? Mr. Fravor stated, I would say yes. Starting in 2017, when it came out, it kind of took the stigma away. So, like, when the article came out in the New York Times, which was the Blink-182, Tom DeLonge was involved in all of that.
He's the reason why any of this is happening, I think. Not him specifically, but his group made all this come out.
And then, he's famous, so he kind of has his pull a little bit, you know?
It's not like us being like, hey, there's aliens.
People are actually listening to him.
Yeah, exactly. People actually care what he has to say. I mean, he's like a third Kardashian now. Because he's in the band with Travis Barker.
Oh, yeah, I was like, wait, no, isn't that Travis?
Yeah, but no, that's I'm like, he's a third.
Yeah.
He's Travis Barker, who's a third of the band.
Yes,
So
yes.
then, yeah.
Yeah, I get it now. I'm a little slow on the jokes, but I get it. So Mr. Fravor continued, I've talked to multiple senators who said prior to that, if you'd mentioned UAPs, you had been laughed off the hill. And now we are...
Capitol Hill, huh?
Yeah, Capitol Hill.
I'm slow too.
So now we are sitting here today for a public testimony. I'm hoping this will curve and will be more exponential and will get more and more transparent to the level that we can. And he says to a level that we can because everything is like, we have to meet in a skiff. We can't talk about that. Oh, well, I don't know how much money they're spending. I don't know where they're housing these non-human aircraft or whatever.
Planet, not from this planet beings.
Yeah.
Like,
so
and this is supposed to be a disclosure hearing, so they're supposed to disclose everything, but they're forgetting to disclose everything.
They're like, I have knowledge of that, but I cannot talk about it. So it's like,
why the fuck
why
are you
a
here?
whistleblower? I know.
What are you here for then?
It's frustrating. I don't know.
Just to get Hillaried? Just to get Clinton?
Not yet. Not yet, but we'll see. So Mr. Fravor then, Mr. Frost then asked Mr. Graves, can you please discuss the importance of seeking scientists to sit on your advisory board? I mean, okay. Obviously, we need scientists, but Mr. Graves' answer was, ultimately, this is going to be a scientific problem and an engineering problem. I've been working with the American Institute of Aeronautics to help them start up a UAP integration committee to help them integrate their engineering process into this problem. I think this is an engineering and scientific problem as much as a national security problem. So, yeah, it makes sense scientists would need to be involved because, obviously, if they're going to be reverse engineering, that's engineering. If it's non-biological humanoids or whatever, then where did they come from? That's science. Is that coming from
science, bitch.
It's science, bitch. Is that coming from us or is that coming from another planet or where is it coming from, basically? Mr. Frost then asked, how might Congress help facilitate partnership between the scientific community and the UAP focus groups within the government? Mr. Graves stated, one of the things they can do at these types of hearings is to communicate to the public that this is a topic of interest, which I think the human. I think the public,
not the alien, but the human
public is already interested in this topic.
Yeah.
They don't need to say that. He went on to say there is a pseudo market, if you will, interested in capabilities and talent that want to approach this topic, and we are seeing that start to grow. He continued, it's starting to grow, of course.
No, it's always been there. People have always been enthralled with space and aliens and the stars and just what else is out there. This isn't a new development. This isn't some oh my gosh, millennial Gen Z, let's go find some aliens.
It's been in pop culture forever. If anything. There's been many movies. I mean, even E.T. and everything.
The ancient Romans and Egyptians talked about aliens and stars and tracking everything. So
yeah,
it's like they're fucking idiots.
It's going to continue. He then went on to say that the reduction of the stigma reduction is going to allow that to flourish and allow answers to help generate themselves. They moved on to Mr. Comer, who yielded his time to Mr. Burchett from Tennessee. Here we go. Mr. Burchett always has the best questions.
Can't wait to hear his response.
Yeah, he just totally said, I yield all my time to Mr. Burchett. So
yeah, that's perfect. Because you know what? Mr. Burchett is our favorite.
He's real.
Let's see what happens now. Dum-dum.
He directed his questions to Mr. Grush, and it did state that any other witnesses could just jump on in. Okay, so Mr. Grush basically is his primary focus, but anyone else is welcome to just jump on in and answer any of the questions. His first question was, has the U.S. government become aware of actual evidence of extraterrestrial, otherwise unexplained forms of intelligence? And if so, when do you think it first occurred?
Well, sorry, I'm doing Mr. Burchett's voice.
So Mr. Grush stated, I like to use the term non-human. I don't like to denote origin. It keeps the aperture open, both scientifically, like I've discussed publicly previously, the 1930s. So apparently we've known as far back as 1930s, from what Mr. Grush knows. Could be much longer that the U.S. government has known, but that's to his knowledge. He then asked Mr. Grush, can you give me the names and titles of the people with direct first-hand knowledge and access to some of this crashed retrieval programs, and which facilities, military bases that have recovered the material and where they would be. I know, and then he goes on to say, I know that a lot of Congress has talked about going up to Area 51, but there's not anything there anymore.
Oh my God.
There's not. He's going on record. Mr. Burchett's going on record saying there's nothing at there's Area 51. There's nothing there anymore.
I didn't get to tell you this.
There's nothing there anymore. Well, let me just finish his little thought real quick.
Okay.
Because it's just like one other sentence.
It's a really big thing.
Yeah, no. So
Okay.
Mr. Burchett's saying everybody wants to go to Area 51, but there's nothing there anymore. He says we move like glacier, and as soon as it's announced, I'm sure all the moving vans are going to come forward and pull up. I don't know why it's saying that. Plugged in.
Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on.
My phone says it's gonna die, but
it doesn't make any fucking sense.
It's not charging.
Why isn't it charging?
I don't know.
On my computer too.
Oh,
Hi.
we're back. Okay.
Sorry, guys. We had a battery technical issue, but we're back.
Technical difficulties.
We're good.
So we were just saying that Mr. Burchett stated there isn't anything at Area 51 anymore, and that he's asking Mr. Grush.
I need to go back to recording.
Oh,
sorry. Okay. Do you want to leave off?
No, why don't you just start your thing? You start what you were gonna say.
Okay. So what I wanted to say was that I saw somewhere that Area 51, there's no aliens there. There's nothing there. It was like kind of like a diversion. And the real place that they actually work to like reverse engineer the alien spacecrafts is about like, I don't know how far, like whether it's like 20 miles, 50 miles, or 100 miles. But it's like, it's close-ish, but not that close. And it's called S4, Area S4 or something.
Okay.
And it's in the mountains, like the mountains, there's a road, and then on Google Maps there's a road, and then it just like disappears, and there's all these holes. And they go into Area 51, but then take all these underground shit to get over to S4, which is like, I saw it on the map, but I didn't see like how far away it was, and I just saw it for like a second because I just learned this like this morning.
So Area 51,
when I was, like, looking at things.
It's like always been the cover.
Yeah.
And they've always been at S4.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Yeah. So for him to say, oh, there's nothing at Area 51, well, that's because there isn't anything at Area 51.
Yeah.
And I just found this information out, and so I was going to tell you about it and have you do like an episode on it, or I can or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, I mean, that backs up what you're saying. Everything adds up. There is nothing at Area 51. So he wants Mr. Grush to give him the details that he knows as a whistleblower where where are they located. And, of course, Mr. Grush answers with his general answer that he gives on most of his questions. I cannot discuss that publicly.
Then why are you here, Mr. Grush? What you doing? Go back to your hole and try to get fame somewhere else.
He said, I cannot discuss that publicly, but I did provide that information both to Intel committees and the Inspector General. Well, do you think the Inspector General and the Intel committees are going to provide that publicly to us? No, probably not. He, then, of course, Mr. Burchett says, well, we could get into a skiff and we could get that information if we were allowed a skiff. Like, it always goes back to the skiff. Mr. Grush says, sure, if you had the appropriate access, yeah. Almost like, if you can get in there, Mr. Burchett.
And somebody said that S4 is in Transformers. That might be, but S4 is also a secret military base. So, poo to you.
So then Mr. Burchett says, what special access programs cover this information? And how is it possible that they have evaded oversight for so long? Mr. Grush, with his typical answers, states, I don't know the names. Once again, I cannot discuss that publicly. And how they have evaded oversight? In a closed setting, I can tell you that. Specifically, what trade craft was used.
And?
Well, he can't tell us. They have to get into a skiff.
Of course they can't.
So, Mr.
I just don't understand the point of Mr. Grush. He's given us nothing.
Yeah. But
We're
everybody...
like 2 hours into this UAP hearing and nothing.
Well, the thing is, Mr. Grush has all the answers.
What does he look like? He's an idiot.
Mr. Grush has all the answers. Mr. Grush used to be very high-level intelligence.
He has the answers, but he's not disclosing the answers.
So he cannot disclose them, because if he discloses this stuff, he can go to jail. So he can only give very small bits and pieces of the puzzle, but he cannot give the full answers. Yes, that's Mr. Grush.
I brought up a picture of Mr. Grush.
Yeah, and he has all these
David
answers in
Grush.
his brain. He just can't
disclose
everything, because he would be jailed if he said everything that he knows.
Jailed.
No, he would.
He would be stoned, damn it. He would be jailed.
He would go to jail because it would violate his
But I thought that
clearance.
he would be safe under the Whistleblower Act, or is that...
There's still stuff that he can't even say right now. There's
Okay.
a lot of stuff. So, of course, then Mr. Burchett asked, when do you think these programs began and who authorized them? Mr. Grush states, I do not know a lot of that information, but that's something that I cannot even discuss publicly. So he doesn't know a lot, but what he does know, he can't discuss. That's when Mr. Burchett reminded the other two witnesses they could jump in and answer the questions if they knew anything.
Of course he did. I love him.
Because he's getting annoyed, like, I can't answer that publicly.
I'm getting annoyed.
I have that answer, but we have to go in a skiff. Like, why am I... So he's like, okay, anybody else, jump in here.
This is why I love Mr. Burchett, because he like reads my mind.
Yeah, Mr. Burchett's like, somebody throw me a lifeline here.
Yeah.
Like, give me some answers. So then Mr. Burchett keeps trying. He says, what level of security clearance is required to fully access these programs? I say that because myself and Representative Gates, as well as Representative Luna, were all turned away at one point at Eglin. I think I'm saying that wrong. Eglin. So please, go right ahead. Tell us. Mr. Grush stated, difference between member access and, say, somebody like me, but anybody who has a TSSCI clearance and meets the eligibility criteria has access authority and would be able to grant you that. So I guess you need a TSSCI clearance. Then Mr. Gates jumped in and he asked Mr. Burchett to yield some of his time so he could interject. He was pretty frustrated at this point with Mr. Grush's answers. Or should I say lack of answers?
Yeah.
Then Mr. Gates said, just to put a fine point, that there is nothing that you're aware of that's above special access programs and classifications. Mr. Grush then said, it's a misnomer that there is anything... I think I said that wrong.
Yeah, you did.
I know, I said it.
Misnomer.
Misnomer. I said misdemeanor. I was going to say misdemeanor.
That's what I was like, what are you trying to say?
It's a misnomer.
Just move forward.
Yeah, that they're basically, he's saying that's cap. Okay, that's not true. that there's anything actually above a top secret. So are you saying that's a lie, that there's anything, misinformation, that there's anything above top secret clearance? He said that the executive order, and then he gets into like the law, the executive order 13526 delineates the classification levels. So it basically spells out all the classification levels, and there's nothing above top secret. Because at this point, I'm thinking there's probably something above top secret.
Top secret, further top.
Because why can't...
Skyscraper top secret.
Yeah, there's got to be something above the something, right? Mm-hmm. Mr. Gates then says, right. Because we can have access to those programs. And so the notion that we were not being given that access sort of defies our typical muscle memory here in Congress. Thank you, Mr. Burchett. I yield back to you. So Mr. Gates is like, well, what the fuck? Then if we have the access, then why, basically, if there's something above top secret, then why can't we get in there? Like, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Mr. Burchett then says thank you to Mr. Gates and says along those lines, Title 10, they're, all defaulting back to law. Title 10, sorry, I just lost my place.
Title 10 entitles
50 authorizations, as they seem to say they're ineffective, so who gets to decide this? Mr. Grush states it's a group of career senior executive officials who get to decide who the 50 are that get to get in.
Oh, okay.
And then Mr. Burchett says, are they government officials?
Yeah.
Like, who has the authority of this?
Yeah.
Mr. Grush says both in and out of the government.
Wow.
So who's really running it? He's not just the government. He said it's both in and out of the government.
The elite, private.
Yeah. Who are these private elites?
Or like the Clintons, or like somebody, I don't know, the Queen. Well, the Queen's dead now. Long live the Queen. Yeah.
Mr. Burchett literally says, okay, I got you. Well, that leads me to my next question. You know when he says, okay, well, I got you, he's going to move on to something a little more meaty. He goes on to say, which private corporations are directly involved in this program, and how much taxpayers' money has been investigated into these programs to your knowledge?
Okay, first of all...
Then he has a little tangent here, Mr. Burchett.
Yes, he often does, but really quick. Mm-hmm. He needs to treat these people, whistleblowers, like they are 2-year-olds and ask them one question at a time. He gave them a 2-part question so far. They're never going to remember it. They're just going to be like, I don't know.
Oh, this is like a little
let's
rant.
do the tangent. His tangents are the best. Can you do the accent?
I can try. He says, oh gosh, I don't know a Tennessee accent. Y'all come back. Y'all. I gotta do like
is that
what
he said?
I don't know. I'm just trying to get an accent going, so I gotta get in character. I'm just trying to get in character here. Okay. I can't do it.
Okay.
I can't.
Okay.
I can try to do it seductively or something.
You want me to try it? I'll
Which private corporation?
Oh my God, get out of here. It's not sexy ASMR.
No, but really though, which private corporations are directly involved in this program, and how much taxpayer money has been invested in these programs to your knowledge? I mean, we know we audited the Pentagon every year. I've been here 5 years, and they failed the daggone thing every year. They lose over $1 billion a year. We think, and I've been told by the Department of Defense, maybe 60% of their assets are unaccounted for. Whatever the heck that means. And in the public sector, you go to jail for that kind of crap. So tell me.
What the fuck? Why
go,
aren't
Mr.
People,
Burchett.
Yeah, why aren't people
go,
in jail?
Mr. Burchett.
Why is not, like, how do you... who still has their job after losing that much money year after year after year after year after year after year?
$1 billion?
Every year or whatever.
And 60% is
assets.
unaccounted for?
Like, why are they still employed?
This is the Pentagon.
This is the problem.
This is the Department of Defense.
That's a problem.
Where do you think that money's going? $1 billion is probably going towards reverse engineering. I mean, it could.
Or it could just be going up somebody's freaking nose.
We don't know where it's going.
Do you see my...
Mr. Grush.
Hold on.
I'm glad you paused that because I need to cough really bad, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to, try not to,
make it all loud for them. No,
Yeah.
there's nothing on here. It's just the phone.
Oh.
Because that's for that, and that stopped.
Yeah.
But we have 15.
Oh my God. It didn't spell.
15 minutes.
This is my last page.
Oh, perfect.
I'm on my last page.
We're on our last little bit. I have
this
to
is
go
the
get
last
my
bit.
kids to the I have to get my kids to the soccer
Yeah,
game
really?
because-
What the fuck, Brad?
Because my husband is off racing, so I have to go take the kids to soccer. Yay.
Yeah, it's like somebody's
Someone's pocket.
pocket.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so we're going back to recording and 1, 2, 3, and no.
Yeah, so Mr. Grush answers, and he calmly says, yeah, I know, and when I'm $1 off on my DTS travel voucher, I get hammered, but it doesn't seem to work the other way around.
Very interesting.
Mr. Burchett, very frustrated, moves on to say, if you sell $600 worth of stuff on eBay, you now get a call from the IRS. So please, what corporations? He's still like, what
What the
corporations?
fuck?
Who is paying for this? Mr. Grush states, I don't know the specific metrics towards any of your questions. The specific corporations, I did provide them to the committees in specific divisions. I spent 11 and a half hours with both Intel committees. So, if you already spent 11 and a half hours, Mr. Grush, and you already provided the committee, the corporations to the committees, why not provide them to the public hearing? Sorry, I keep feeling like I need to cough.
And what if you've already, why do you still have a job if you haven't figured out where the money went? Or, you spent 11 and a half hours, sucking your dick?
Well, it's not Mr. Grush's job to,
But he
to
said
delegate the
11
money.
and a half hours.
He spent 11 and a half hours with both Intel committees as a whistleblower telling them everything he knew.
Oh, I thought he meant he spent 11 and a half hours trying to figure out.
No, he has no,
okay.
He was not there to figure out, where the money went, that's missing from the Pentagon. Mr. Burchett is just stating that as a fact that he knows because of in his 5 years, with his experience, he has seen that in his past 5 years of being in the government, it's been that much that's been missing.
Yeah.
And then he knows that Mr. Grush knows the corporations, but Mr. Grush is just not saying it on public hearings. That's why he keeps just saying what corporations. He just won't say it. So then Mr. Burchett asks Mr. Grush, has there been any U.S. government disinformation campaigns to deny the existence of unidentified aerial phenomenon, and if so, why? Mr. Grush, and Mr. Grush's natural answering fashion, he says, I cannot go beyond what I've already exposed publicly and above that. You then can hear whispering. You hear a bunch of whispering from... You just hear a bunch of whispering. You don't know who it is at first because the camera. This is a hearing, and the camera is focused on Mr. Grush because he's talking. And the camera has to scroll around to try to find who's whispering. Then you can hear whispering, and it actually is coming from Miss Luna and Mr. Burchett for a few seconds. It's just quiet. You cannot make out what they're saying. All you can make out is Miss Luna saying, "Ask him, ask him, ask him," and you can't hear anything else. Then Mr. Burchett states, okay, I've been told to ask you what it is and how to get it on the record. And then Mr. Grush says, what? And then Miss Luna jumps in and says, what have you stated publicly in your interviews for the congressional record? And then they're still probing him. They want the answers. And they want it to be on this public record. He sees what they want. He's not giving it to them. Then Mr. Grush basically says, if you reference my News Nation interview, I talk about a multi-decade campaign to disenfranchise public interest, basically. And then Mr. Burchett says, I apologize, Mr. Chairman. I yield back negative 21 seconds. And that's where we end. Basically, Mr. Burchett really tried to push Mr. Grush. And
pry some information out of him.
And he basically did not give much at all.
And that's shitty.
Yeah. And that's where we leave off.
So, we leave off with Mr. Grush being a dumb shit. And
Mr. Burchett is pissed.
Really
Miss Luna is pissed.
Yeah.
The whole place is whispering about it. So...
And everyone's pissed off because there's no point in a disclosure hearing if you're not going to disclose anything. Why were you invited to this place?
And, sadly, the other two whistleblowers did not jump in. We have Mr. Graves and Mr. Fravor. Mr. Graves and Mr. Fravor did not jump in either.
Yeah, they're lame. Can't wait to find out what happens next.
Yeah, especially now we're getting into, now they're all whispering, and it's gonna...
there's gonna be, real-time hearing of drama and stuff.
It's getting, they're getting pretty pissed. They're getting really mad, actually.
Okay, well, thank you for listening, and don't forget to...
Please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and thank you so much for listening.
And don't forget to email us any of your feedback, comments, phenomenal fan encounters at conspiraciesunlocked@gmail.com. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I need to finish there too.
Bye.